Okay, let's get started. We're excited to have you join us for today's session, Controlling the Chaos, Smarter Coding for Custom Products with IQ CPQ. Today, we will do a quick introduction to Luxent, and then we'll dive into how manufacturers can streamline their coding process with Luxent's IQ CPQ solution. If you have any questions as we move throughout this webinar, please put your questions in the Q&A panel, and we will do our best to get them answered as we move through the webinar. First off, I'd like to introduce you to the team that we have on the call here today. We have Donna Corwin, Luxent's CTO and developer of IQ CPQ, Hunter Barnett, a Salesforce admin here at Luxent, and finally myself, Brooke Geipus, a marketing manager on the Luxent team. All right, so a little bit about Luxent. We were founded in 2009 and we're located in beautiful Southern California. And we are celebrating our 16th year. We are a premier NetSuite solution partner with an average consultant experience of 10 plus years in the ERP or industry experience. And we help companies with the selection, implementation, and support of NetSuite with experience in third-party applications and development. We also have a Salesforce practice with apps on the Salesforce App Exchange. And we are a certified Suite Cloud development partner. Alrighty, with that, I will pass it over to Hunter to talk to you more about IQ. Hunter?
Thank you, Brooke. Yes, let's talk about some of the IQ features you'd be interested in as a manufacturing company. Manufacturing companies have unique quoting requirements, which can become very complex, especially when you need to create custom items that it might have component lists, revisions, routings, working with multiple locations. All of these complexities can be handled through IQ. IQ is very flexible in how you can quote different product types, such as existing assemblies, existing inventory items, or completely new custom products. You can quote all these different product types together, even including suggesting add-on products for upselling or cross-selling. It's very easy to manage, so this is one of the things we hear the most from our customers, is how easy it is to maintain. And you don't have to be a super technical person to, make changes to the system, update pricing, or add new products. But we are here if you ever need us. Our clients don't depend on us for maintaining their environments, and in many cases, an IT resource isn't necessary. Sales teams and their sales admins are able to handle a lot of the maintenance of IQ. And we also support global requirements, such as customer-specific pricing, multi-currency, multi-country, and multi-subsidiary setups. So it'll be able to scale as your business grows and you expand throughout the world. And with IQ, your team will be able to quote faster with greater accuracy and streamline the overall process. Those are just a few things that make IQ a good fit for manufacturing companies. With that, I'll hand it over to Donna to highlight some additional key features and walk us through a product demonstration.
Yeah, thank you, Hunter. So today we're going to be focused on custom products, so configure to order, engineer to order, and matrix types items. But before we jump into that in the demo, just want to highlight some of the key features of IQ that go across kind of all product types. So from a configure standpoint, we have a product configurator. So it's a rules-based configuration that's very easy to administer and user-friendly from a setup standpoint. With that, you can generate smart product codes based on the options that are selected and manage dependencies so that you're ensuring that your users are only selecting compatible options for your products. We have guided selling features with our full search capability that lets you drill down to find the right products with attribute filtering. And then we also have related products that do suggestive selling for upsells, cross-sells, identifying alternate products, and adding maintenance type products as well, such as product maintenance, or product support options. And we also have product options that allow you to configure based on attributes. So this is very similar to matrix items in NetSuite, but it's very user-friendly. We support kits or bundles, and you can create custom products and bundles on the fly without having to create items in your item master. So it helps keep your item master in NetSuite clean, so that you don't have a lot of products in there that you haven't actually sold or need to build yet. We also support engineer to order quoting with support for multi-level bills of material, and creating routings and labor and other costs, so outside costs. And then we also have real-time validation as well. So if you need to specify minimum order quantities or incremental order quantities, we have the ability to define those on products, and then it automatically makes adjustments to the quantities and notifies the user that changes were made to enforce those quantity validations. So for pricing, we have a pricing rules engine, so you can define rules so whether it's promotional pricing or customer specific pricing, you can define rules to set up discounts or even add-ons like shipping, and they can be percentage based or fixed price based. But basically any criteria related to a customer, a product, information on the quote, those can all be used as criteria for defining your pricing rules. We also have customer and customer group specific pricing, tiered and quantity break pricing, recurring or subscription-based pricing. So if you are selling like annual maintenance contracts, things like that, along with your products, those can be configured and added on in IQ. And then we have different ways to define your pricing. So, it can be a defined list price. You can do cost markup, target margin, or multiplier pricing. We also have margin health indicators and a cost margin calculator to help you define the right price. This is especially helpful with custom products or engineer to order products, to make sure that you are pricing it accordingly to make sure that you're making the appropriate profit margin. We can also quote in units of measure, so you can set up multiple units of measure. So for example, eaches, cases, pallets can all be set up on a single product and quoted at those different units. We have multi-currency support and sales tax integration as well. So you can, we have out-of-the-box integrations with Avalara and TaxJar, but we can also integrate to other sales tax solutions as well. Okay, so for quoting, just some features that we have here. We have an option to import quote lines. So if you have a spreadsheet or a CSV file, you can import those in so you don't have to manually input those. We have an enhanced cloning feature that we'll cover in more detail, that gives you some different options for cloning quotes to make it easier. If you've quoted something similar in the past. We have quote groups to allow you to organize products on a quote and group them and subtotal them. We have optional products. So you can mark a line as optional to help with upselling. So that can be included on the quote as like a recommended product, and it's not included in the total amount of the quote. We have a document template builder, and in our document templates, you can output multiple images for a product. So this is very helpful for things like furniture, where you have different fabrics and finishes that you can select, and then you can include the swatches on the document output. And then we have e-signature integration. And not only are we integrated with NetSuite, but we can integrate with other systems as well. Okay, so jump into the product demonstration here. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is starting in NetSuite. In a NetSuite opportunity, we're going to create an IQ quote from here. And so this creates a new quote for us. And what I'm going to do here is use our full search, and I'm just going to initially add just a standard product and show you some of the features that we talked about. And then we're going to jump into adding an option set or matrix product, then go into a configured product, and then lastly, an engineer to order or custom on the fly product. So to add products to the quote, you can use our full search, or you can simply type in an item number or name or description of a product and select it. But we're going to go into our full search here, and then you can, if you're not quite sure what you're looking for, you can go in here and then you can filter. So I'm going to look for, I want kind of a hybrid bike that works on both street and trail terrain. I would like a blue, and then I can filter down to the size, and then add this to my quote. And so I've added this to the quote, and you can see here that it's automatically added an annual service plan as and it's checked as optional. So this is, we want to try to upsell a service plan for each quote. So that is included on here. And then if we look at our bike, we can look at related products for other recommended products to add on to our quote, and you can select those to add on as well. And here we have our quote groups that you can define to if you want to group your quotes and subtotal them on your output. So that's an option. We have our margin health indicator here. So if we want to discount and make sure that we're not going too far outside of bounds, we have a green and yellow and red indicator. So, and then you can define what your margin thresholds are for each of those. I'm going to now add a matrix type product here. So this is just a Citigo bike, and we have different size and color options for this bike. So we have so it's easy to know when you need to make a selection, and then it's very easy to view your options and make those selections. So I'm going to go ahead and make some different selections here. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And so as I made the selections, it updates the product code, and then it also updates the description for the product as well. So this is another way that, so you can set up a single product and then without having to create separate SKUs for all of the different combinations. And then once an order is placed for that combination, then at that time, when the order gets created in NetSuite is typically when we would create that item or and or assembly in NetSuite so that the order can be placed, and then you're not adding items to your item master until needed. Okay, so now I'm going to jump in and add a configured product. So I'm going to configure a custom bike. And I'm going to go in and I can choose the model. And based on the model I choose, I have different color options. So the City Go is only available in blue and white. The Cross Go have some different options. I could also choose a custom color and then just input that color. I'm just going to stick with a standard here, and then you can see our item number or our item code is getting generated as we're making our selections. And again, I can have different options to choose the size of the bike. I can just choose it by frame size. I can choose by rider height. So we have different fields that are displayed. I could choose a custom size where I can enter the frame height and length. And then we have incremental validation. So if it can only be in 1/4 increments, you can define those increments. I'm going to just go with the simple selection by size. And as we're making our selections here, we have actions defined that create the bill of material for the bicycle based on the options that we are selecting. I can choose a different battery from the standard, choose grip, and choose the seat. And then we also have variables that we can create to update what we want to put in for the product name and the product description. And then the next step here, once I've got my bike configured, I can then go in and choose some accessories that will get added to the quote as separate line items. So I can choose helmet, and then if I wanted to add on a bike rack, and I'm going to pass on the smart trainer, but we can see with our custom actions here that these will get added to the quote as a line versus adding as part of the bill of material. And so I have all of my selections made, and I'm going to return to my quote. And so I have my custom bicycle here. I have the helmet and the rack that was added. If I wanted to go in and look at the bill of material, I can do that in here. I can also add additional costs. So if I wanted to add some outside processing cost to the order, and we could also go in and add operations, and all of these can be added by rules within the configurator as well. And I'll show a little bit more on the bill of material in just a second. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add a custom product. So I'm going to build a bike from scratch. So I'm going to use our custom product feature. So here I can choose a product group, and you can also do custom kits as well. We're going to just do a custom assembly, basically. And I'm not going to put anything else in here. I'll put just a long description in here. I'm going to add that. And now I can go in to the line and go to manufacturing details, and then I can start creating my bill of material. So I can add existing products. So I can choose a frame. I can add some wheels. I can also add multi-level bill of material. So I can add a custom subassembly and choose my quantity, and then add components to my subassembly. So I can again add existing components, or I can expand that, and you can go even deeper. I'm going to go ahead and add a custom, say a custom guardrail, put in the quantity and the cost. And then I can go in, and if I wanted to, again, add some an outside processing charge, these charges can be either a percentage or a flat amount. So if I just want to make that $50, I can do that. Again, I can add labor operations here. And then once I've got, everything defined, I've got all of my costs built out, I can go here to our cost margin calculator, and we have a default target margin set of 50%. I can change that. So if I wanted to see, well, if we were willing to go down to 45%, what should the target price be? I could also say, okay, well, if I just make it an even 1,000, where does that put us for our profit margin? And then I can update the price. And then we're all set. I can also add an image. So if the customer sends you an image, or you have a drawing, something like that you want to define on there, you can go in and add an image here. So if I were to, I'm just going to, I have a URL here for an image. So you can either upload an image if you have it on your hard drive, or if it's a URL, I can add it on here. I can make this the default and thumbnail so it can be displayed on the PDF document. Okay, so now we've got we've gone through the different types of products that we can add on here that are more manufacturing focused. So I can now generate my PDF template. So you can have multiple different types of templates that I'm going to just preview one that is grouped and has images. So you can see here we have all of our bicycles grouped together, and accessories, and then our recommended option for our annual service plan. And then that can be then attached to the quote and emailed to your customer or prospect. Okay, a few other things here. So I mentioned before our enhanced cloning. So if you know that you quoted something similar, so if it's this is especially helpful if for custom products, so a certain configuration or an engineer to type order. So you can clone it, and then you have different options to whether or not you want to update the price or include additional charges. So if you, let's say you quoted this months and months ago and your pricing has updated since then, you can choose update price so that it includes the most current pricing for that. Or if you want to leave it the same, you can just leave that unchecked, and then it creates an exact copy of the quote with all of the lines and all of the detail, including the bill of materials and operations. And then you can go in and make modifications to it as needed. You can also change the customer that is assigned to the quote. So if you quoted it for customer A and then customer B wants something similar, you can take the quote from customer A and clone it and change it to customer B. And then once you've got everything finalized and you are ready to have this created in NetSuite, then we have this set up so that it generates a sales order. You could have it generate, you could have it go directly or to a quote or just to the opportunity. So that's something that's worked out and set up based on your requirements. So all we have to do is click send to NetSuite here, and then it will go through. And if you have, so let's say we've never made this combination of bike before with these options, it will determine that and then create a new assembly item, a new bill of material, and a new bill of material revision. It will look at the components as well, and if there are any component items that need to be created, those will get created as well. And I'm just going to go to a quote that I created earlier that we already synced to NetSuite because it takes a few minutes for that to process through when it needs to create all of the associated items. But so you can go into the order in NetSuite. And then you can see, like we can go in here and look at the assembly item that was created and look at the manufacturing details. We have our bill of material here that was created, and then with a revision and all of the components. So that concludes the demonstration portion. And so if you would like to see more in terms of how configurations are built and other setup features, and dive more into the order and item conversion process, we'd be happy to spend some time to go into more detail with that.
Great. Thank you, Donna. All right. Well, as we kind of close out our webinar here, I wanted to walk a little bit through pricing and implementation costs and then answer any questions that we might have. So for pricing here on our IQ solution, our NetSuite IQ subscriptions start at $50 per user, and we do have a 90-day quick start implementation program. So if you are interested in learning more about what this might look like for your business or how, IQ would work for you, please schedule a 30-minute discovery session. We will be reaching out to everyone after the webinar to book your follow-up 30-minute session. So we look forward to working with you. All right, let's see if we have any questions here. Okay, we have a couple that just came through. These are obviously all for you, Donna. So let's see, when do new items get created in NetSuite?
So typically that happens when it's converted to an order, but it really depends, and it can be configured differently based on your specific requirements. But typically, most people don't want them in NetSuite until an actual order has been placed and it needs to be produced.
Right, thank you. And then a couple more here. Does IQ only create service orders, or can it do cash sales, invoice, or other transaction types?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, when you're syncing the quote back to NetSuite, it can be done at any sales transaction level. So whether that's the opportunity, the quote, sales order, invoice, or cash sale.
Great, thank you. And one last question here. Do you support multi-level BOMs?
Yes, yes. And it can go, I believe we support up to 7 levels of sub-assemblies.
Great, thank you. All right. Well, if anybody has any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat or follow up afterwards with any questions that you might have. Okay, so for our next steps here, you've already taken step 1. Congratulations on attending one of Luxon's IQ CPQ introductory demonstrations. Your next step is to schedule a 30-minute discovery to receive budgetary pricing. We'd love to talk to anybody about how IQ can fit into your business process and simplify your quoting. And then step 3, buy IQ CPQ and get your team started on faster and more efficient quoting. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we hope to be working with you soon.